Barbara Corcoran of Shark Tank fame put out a video that went viral because she said if you can afford to buy a house right now, that now is the very best time to buy. But with interest rates at 8%, maybe headed to 10%, and then you wouldn't be able to refinance. With the war in the Middle East and in the Ukraine, with the Fed purposely trying to put us into a recession, is it really true? Is now the best time? Well, I'm here to try to help you figure that out. First, I want to talk about predictions. But if you look at predictions, they're as handy as the crystal ball that I don't have access to, which is people can get it wrong, and they can get it really wrong. For example, if you look at this chart, you will see that the American Enterprise Institute in December of 2022, they predicted that in 23 we were going to lose 15 to 20% in home values. Fast forward a few quarters, and now they're predicting a 6% appreciation in home values. And in this chart, you can see that all of these companies that have economists on staff, that's their job, is to like pore over the numbers and make predictions. They got it wrong. Everyone was predicting at the very least break even and up to a negative 20%. And so now here we are, and they're like, oh, oops. So predictions are just that, they're predictions. So my next thought is, if you can't afford it, I think you should buy. Let me give you the data points right now. So Seattle Times put out an article in October, beginning of the month, October 2nd, and they said that by 2044, I think there was about 144,000 houses that would need to be built, and just 35,000 of those need to be in just the Bellevue area. And so here we have King County having a shortage of homes. There's a shortage of homes across the nation because the builders never really fully recovered from the 2008 crash. Okay, next. The Times also put out an article talking about where all the King County expats go. And they lose about 127,000 people a year to other areas. And this is looking at a time frame from 2016 to 2020. And during that same time frame, about 22,000 people a year would come up from King County to move to Snohomish County. Of course, that's partially because you get more bang for your buck. That is double the amount of people that would leave Snohomish County and move into King County. The next thing to consider is the overarching supply and demand. If there's not enough supply, but there is a high enough demand, prices will remain where they are and they will increase if the demand outpaces the supply. So you all might remember the 2008 crash. The actual low point around our area, I think, in pricing was more like around 2012. But let's talk about inventory levels, okay? So in Snohomish County, in January of 2009, there were a total of 8,271 active listings. At the time, the total number of homes was about 237,000 homes. All right, so that's 2009. That works out to be about 3.5% of all the homes were actively listed for sale. Now let's go to pre-pandemic. September of 2019, the total number of active listings was 2,321. The total number of homes in Snohomish County at that time was just about 298,000, which means that the number of listings was about 0.78%, so not 1%, not even 1% of the total homes in Snohomish County were listed for sale. Now let's go to this last September. The total number of homes for sale was 1,327, and the total number of homes in Snohomish County was around 307,000, which works out to be 0.4%, not even a 0.5%. So as even a ratio, we're decreasing in inventory. Something else to consider is that since 2009 till now, the number of homes built in Snohomish County was about 70,000. So in 14 years, we only got 70,000 new homes, bringing you back to the idea of how many homes are needed in King County. The same thing's happening here in Snohomish County. We need houses. Until we actually have enough houses to meet the demand, I don't anticipate prices dropping. Some people say, well, just wait for the foreclosure wave. Well, let's look at the data on that. 42% of the owner-occupied homes are owned free and clear. So those people cannot be foreclosed on. So now we have the rest of the people with mortgages. Of the people that have mortgages, 92% have a mortgage that is under 6%. How many people do you think have a mortgage under 5%? 50% of those folks? 60? No. 82.4% have a mortgage that's under 5%. So that makes it really hard for someone to make a move, because if they make a lateral or a move-up move, they are going to be paying way more, possibly 3% more, maybe even more, because there's a lot of people out there with 2 and 3% mortgages. That makes it nearly impossible. They're going to want to hold on to that house, and they're going to want it, maybe they'll want to rent it out before they give up that really great interest rate. So the sellers are locked in because they have great interest rates, especially compared to what's being offered. I don't see a foreclosure wave happening unless there is an overall economic collapse, and if that happens, then maybe you can take advantage of it if you get to keep your job, you've saved up plenty of money, and you're able to get financing. But a lot of times when there is an overarching economic collapse, the timing for the vast majority of people to take advantage of it, they can't, because they get sucked in with the collapse. Okay, so no foreclosure wave. And people have come to terms right now with the interest rates. I just listed a home last week in Mill Creek, and in the 3.5 days that we had available for people to tour the home, we had over 30 showings. I have had many buyers that have had to step back from the market because the interest rate was making the payment unaffordable for them, and so I know that they were stepping back hoping for interest rates to drop. The problem is that the writing is on the wall that we are not going to have the inventory that we need, so that when interest rates drop and a bunch of people come flooding back into the market, there's not going to be enough homes. And I unfortunately am predicting that we will see another 2021 and have crazy bidding wars. So if you can afford it, if there's some reason that's driving you to want to purchase right now and you can afford it, you're not using your credit cards to do your daily shopping, you're not having to dip into savings all the time to make ends meet, like I mean it, like if you can afford it, now is probably a good time to buy. But who am I? I don't have a crystal ball. Let me know what you think down below in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, I hope that you'll give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I plan to keep continuing to put out videos to help you decide what's best for you on your purchasing or home sale journey. I'm going to be putting out another video about how to buy before selling. If you're someone that you really do want to buy, but you need to sell your home to get that equity, there are some options out there, so keep your eyes peeled for that video. And until I get a chance to talk to you, take a